Chapter 3. Erica woke up after a few hours. She moved her hand up and down her body, feeling the bandages that covered her breasts. Then started to look around the cabin, spotting Lucas and Ned talking with each other. Erica weakly reached out her hand towards Ned, as if pleading for help.
Hey there, Sleeping Beauty. How are you feeling, Rika?
Ned walked over to her and knelt by the bed. Erica rubbed her eyes and poked Ned's forehead. What do you think, smartass? We were attacked by a large, monstrous, cat-like creature. I have scratches and a ton of cuts on my chest. It's hard to breathe right now. Erica huffed and attempted to sit up. Help me up, asshole. Ned just shrugged at her request. Lucas took her hands and gently pulled her up, draping a blanket over her shoulders. Erica looked up at him. He had a puzzled look on his face, probably because he didn't know how to handle the situation. Once he noticed her staring, Lucas quickly turned his head away from her gaze. Did I do a decent job putting the bandages on? Lucas muttered and pulling his hands away from hers. Erica bit her lip. You did an excellent job, thank you. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't honest with you. I should have told you or at least hinted at it. It was humiliating to let you find out the way you did. You can report me and get me thrown out of the Warriors, she mumbled, pulling the blanket over her head. Lucas gave her a small smirk. After what you did to protect the base, you really think I'm gonna report you? He snickered softly. Erica gasped and snapped her head up to stare at him in shock. Wait, seriously? You're not going to tell anyone that I'm a woman? Erica blinked, her mouth looking like it would hit the floor out of shock. Lucas nudged Ned, telling him to shoo to somewhere else in the cabin. Ned rolled his eyes and got up, strolling over to the other side of the small house. Lucas then took a spot next to Erica. No, I won't. You're the strongest woman I've met. I've seen a dragon shapeshifter before, and his strength didn't compare to yours. Lucas put a hand on her shoulder. Just don't ever reveal yourself. Not only would it get you kicked out, but you'd probably be harassed by the other male warriors here. And I can't have that happening. You're my partner. You're technically mine. He leaned closer, near inches away from her face. Erica got flushed, bright red, as he gently grabbed her chin. The young woman panicked and threw the blanket over his head. Whoa, easy, Rika. Ned made her lay down, putting a hand on her breast. Erica slapped him across the face. Don't touch me, Erica shrieked. I'm in pain and a woman. Just leave me alone, both of you. She snapped up the blanket and curled up under it. Erica glared at her and was prepared to argue with her when Ned grabbed his elbow and took the shorter man over to the opposite side of the cabin. What in the blue hell are you doing? She's being stubborn, Lucas hissed, ripping his arm away from Ned's grasp. Let me set something straight. Erica may be your partner, but she's also a woman. Even if no one else knows her real gender, you do. You know what that means? You treat her with respect. If she's angry at you, don't blow a gasket too. She may seem cheery on the outside, but the girl has a fiery temper if you push the right trigger points. And Erica will always refuse to back down from a fight. You need to be the calm one, the one with a level head. Got it. Ned forcefully sat the blonde down in a chair. And why should I listen to you? You aren't her brother. Lucas scoffed, sticking his nose up in the air. The tall male stared the other down and grabbed the front of his tunic. This girl has no siblings. I'm sure she told you that. She's an only child. Not only that, but her father is very protective of her, to the point that he was appalled to see one to risk a life to protect others. Ned snapped. I'm the closest thing she has to an older brother, and the last thing I want is for her to get hurt. I'm a wolf,
shapeshifter, and I will rip you to shreds if you hurt her in any way. Do I make myself clear? Lucas gave Ned an icy glare. Clear as crystal. Now let me go. He huffed. Ned snorted and threw Lucas on the ground. Lucas was prepared to tackle the man when a note was slipped under the door. The smaller male grabbed the paper and skimmed through it. Get Erica dressed. The general's kid, the commander of this group of warriors, is asking for everyone to gather in the center of the camp. Lucas rolled his eyes and grabbed his cloak. No need to be so bossy. You want my partner, Ned muttered. Just get her dressed and be careful of the bandages around her cleavage. The cuts were pretty deep. Lucas blushed slightly and avoided eye contact with Ned. The tall, light-haired brunette smirked and took the hint. He got Erica up and out of bed and into her mended tunic. Then the three headed outside where many others were already gathered. The teen from earlier, Matthew, ran up to Ned. Is Matthias okay? Matthew gulped, purple orbs filled with worry. Erica ruffled up his hair. Don't worry, kid. I'm fine. Matthew, right? She smirked. Yeah, that's right. I'm happy you remembered my name. Matthew blushed. Erica and Matthew chatted for a little bit when two tall warriors stepped out of the largest cabin. Presenting your commander, Julton Bellsmith, one warrior announced. The albino woman with red eyes walked out of the cabin. Erica raised an eyebrow. You're kidding. The commander of this group is a girl? I thought girls weren't allowed to join. Erica furrowed her brow. Lucas tossed some hair out of his face and scoffed. Julton and her sister Monica are the two daughters of one of the generals of the Cardinal Warriors. They are the exceptions. Julton is a bit mischievous, but can maintain a serious personality and is very good at keeping order. And before you ask, Julton is 16 and Monica is 13, he explained. Ah, yes, thank you very much for the information dump. I appreciated it. Erica spoke sarcastically. Lucas snorted and intensely looked away from her. You're welcome. You better be thankful. He scoffed. Julton wore a dark red top with a black flowy skirt with two slits. Under her skirt was a pair of gray pants and black boots. Her hair was rather long, at least down to her thighs, and was pulled up by a red ribbon in a long ponytail. Hello, boys. We have an issue. Many creatures have been spotted along the edges of the northern and eastern mountains. General Bellsmith has recommended our team splits up into small groups of 4 and patrol any villages along these mountains. Julton paced back and forth. Now, I will assign you to your groups. She pulled out a clipboard. Oh God, Ned, I hope everyone's okay. Erica gasped. Ned put his hands on Erica's shoulders. Rika, you need to relax. I'm sure everyone is okay. I'm not going to hug you right now, but you really need to relax. Rika? What kind of a name is Rika? I thought his name was Matthias. Matthew blinked. Erica began to panic again. Ned playfully nudged Erica's shoulder. Rika's a family name. His name is Matthias, but Rika is his middle name passed down by tradition in his family. Ned shrugged. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Matthew smiled sheepishly. Julton walked up to the four of them. Team Lucas and Team Matthew. You four are assigned to the most northern village between the northern and eastern mountains. And if I remember correctly, Lucas, that is your hometown, she smirked. I thought you'd like to head home and see that adorable little brother of yours. Lucas nodded curtly. Thank you for the opportunity for me to head back home. Matthew bit his lip. Ma'am, I'm from that village as well. My brothers and I are from there. He spoke softly. All right. Say hi to your brothers for me then. Try to talk Arthur into joining the warriors. Julton shrugged and put a hand on his shoulder, walking away. Ned placed a hand on Matthew's head. While we're on this trip, we're gonna tell you a secret, and you better not tell. Matthew raised an eyebrow. What kind of secret? He questioned. Lucas ran a hand through his hair, and Erica whistled nervously. Yeah, that's chapter 3. On to chapter 4. So as you can tell, I am trying to differentiate the voices of the guys. I'm really trying. Just know that Lucas is monotone, Matthew's just a little bit higher, and Ned is low. Wait, what? Matthias is a she? Matthew huffed. After packing and saddling up 3 horses for the trip, teams Lucas and Matthew headed off towards Lucas's village in the northeast. Ned briefly explained to Matthew about Erica's situation. Yes, I'm Erica, but you will refer to me as Matt or Matthias in front of other warriors. Erica facepalmed. Stop freaking out. Keep a level head and an open mind. I'm a dragon shapeshifter. I can kill you easily. If you blab my secret, I will kill you. Dragon or not, she huffed. Rika, calm down before I knock you out, Ned groaned. Erica snorted. I'd like to see you try, asshole. Her and Ned were staring the same horse, so an intense argument ensued. Perhaps it wasn't the best idea to let those two ride together. Lucas thought. Hey, Lucas, are you 100% sure those two are closed and attached at the hip? Matthew questioned. Lucas shrugged. They've grown up together. Plus, Ned threatened to kill me if I hurt Erica, so I'm sure they care about each other to some extent. But even I question their relationship sometimes. You've known them for a day. Matthew rolled his eyes. You can get to know people in a day, kid. Lucas smirked. After a few more hours of traveling, the four decided to stop for the night. Erica and Ned made makeshift hammocks between 2 trees. Lucas and Matthew made themselves comfortable on the ground in front of an unlit campfire. How? Just how? Matthew raised an eyebrow. We're good at our hands, dummy. We can get stuck just about anything. Erica stuck her tongue out at him. We can make some for you two if you want. Ned shrugged. Oddly enough, I feel safer on the ground. Matthew rolled his eyes. Erica puffed out her cheeks. Would you cut the attitude, pretty boy? I don't much appreciate assholes. I'm a girl. Just deal with it, Sue groaned. Or maybe I don't want to ignore the fact that one of the strongest shapeshifters is a woman. Matthew scoffed. Erica marched up to him, towering over the adolescent. You got a problem with powerful women? Shall I remind you that our commander is a 16-year-old girl? Not all women are weak. Erica grabbed the front of his shirt. You wouldn't hit a minor. I'm 15, so technically a child by most standards. Matthew panicked. He never thought he would fear a girl, especially one that was nice to him and remembered his name. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want you to drop the attitude. I'm already dealing with Ned's crap. I don't want to deal with yours too. Can we just all be friends? Erica muttered and released him. Matthew just stared at her. He now, for some reason, had a profound respect for this woman. She was strong and humble, not to mention gorgeous, or rather, and gentler than he had previously thought. The adolescent stared at her, her short, wavy hair perfectly framing her face, large eyes that were as blue as the ocean in the sky. Erica snapped her fingers in front of his face. Hello, Earth Matthew, are you okay with being friends? Erica huffed, raising her hand up to slap him. Matthew immediately blocked her assault by grabbing her wrist. Being a friend sounds nice. Matthew smiled and stood on his tiptoes to kiss both of her cheeks. Erica was left speechless with a reddened face. Ned facepalmed. Why did you throw off like that? She doesn't understand your customs, he groaned. Matthew laughed nervously, rubbing the back of his neck. I don't know what came over me, but that is how we greet women in my home village. Lucas can probably vouch for me on that. Ned glared at Lucas, who nodded. It is true, women are treated with a good amount of respect in our village. Elders created this custom because, as they say it, women are the closest thing to a god, as they can create life. Lucas replied. That is probably the wisest thing I've heard all day. Erica yawned. Okay, I guess we should be getting to bed now. We're literally less than a kilometer away from the village. We need to save up a lot of energy to greet the villagers. Ned slung an arm around Erica. Wait, we still need to get the fire started, Lucas protested. Right, Dad. Let me handle it. Erica stretched and took a deep breath, exhaling and producing fire much like a breathing dragon. This act set the campfire ablaze with a warm glow. Erica climbed into her hammock and passed out. Lucas and Matthew were left in shock. What the? Lucas trailed off. Matthew's eyes were large with excitement. Oh my God, so you breathe fire like a real dragon? He gasped. Ned shrugged as if the accent was completely normal. Well, see, as a dragon shapeshifter, he does possess a few characteristics of a real dragon. That is so cool. Oh, I have so many questions for her now. Bed now, pretty boy. Ned placed a hand on Matthew's head. The young blonde pouted, but surrendered, getting comfortable on the ground by the fire. Lucas quickly joined him. The next day, Ned and Lucas fed the horses while Matthew and Erica gathered the supplies. Soon they were off. The villagers came into view quickly. A lot of farmers in the fields recognized Lucas and Matthew, greeting them happily and running up to tell the others. By the time the foursome arrived at the entrance to the village, many villagers were waiting there and cheering. Oh my God, are you guys famous? Are you two famous or something? Erica blinked. My parents are excellent wizards and protect the village. Matthew's grandmother worked alongside my family as a strong warrior, Lucas explained. So we're automatic celebrities because of our families. Ah, lovely. I won't know what privacy is while I'm here, Erica pouted. No one is a pervert. No one is a pervert. At least most aren't. Matthew chuckled nervously. Maddie! Saturday male teen. Matthew paused and looked amongst the crowd. An adolescent blonde was bouncing up and down. An adult male stood next to him. Matthew gasped and jumped off his horse, pushing through the crowd and tackled the two blondes. Erica blinked. Lucas, please explain what has happened. Lucas snickered softly. Those two are his brothers. The one who got his attention is his older twin, Alfred. And the other is Arthur, a good friend of mine that I told you about. Lucas, who is that pretty blonde behind you? Is she your lady friend? Asked an older woman. Miss Applegate, she's just a colleague. We work together. Lucas rolled his eyes. By the way, my people see right through disguises. No use hiding your identity. He whispered to Erica. Could have told me that beforehand, so I could have worn something more presentable, not let Ned bind my chest. Erica scoffed. He makes it so tight. I can help with that. Miss Applegate helped Erica off the horse. I'm a tailor of this village. I can whip you up something nice. She smiled and looked up at Lucas. Mind if I borrow her? Lucas shook his head. I don't mind at all. Be my guest. Just take her to my home when you're through with her. He shrugged. Erica glared at Lucas. I hate you so much. You owe me big for this. She huffed as she was dragged away. You're such a dick. I respect you. Nick smirked. I know you said I needed a level head with Erica, but I couldn't help poking her buttons just a little bit. Lucas hummed. I'll be careful, no worries. After chatting with a few villagers, Lucas took Ned to his family home. A short, white-haired woman with silver-linked hair tended to a garden while a little boy chased a black cat. The boy paused at the sight of Lucas and Ned. Oh God, little kid. Big brother! The boy squealed. He had white hair and violet-colored eyes. Dressed in a white dress and little brown boots, he ran up to Lucas and hugged his legs. Hi, Emil. It's nice to see you again. Lucas picked up his brother and kissed his forehead.
I missed you so much, but even so, I still took good care of Mama and Papa.
Emil giggled. Is Leon treating you well? Lucas glared at the black cat. The cat turned into a brunette boy with deep brown eyes, wearing a pale red kimono with a large yellow belt, tan pants, and black flats.
I am very good to your brother. After all, you trusted me with his care.
Leon flipped some hair out of his face. The woman perked up and turned around.
Oh, Lucas, my boy!
She gasped and ran to Lucas, pulling her boys in for a tight hug. Hello, Mother. How are you? Lucas returned the hug with one arm.
I'm fine.
A little lonely without having you and your brother here at the same time. His mother smiled. Who is your friend here? He's very tall and serious. Mother, Emil, this is Ned Peters. He's a colleague of mine. Ned, this is my mother, Kilo, and my little brother, Emil. Lucas introduced him. Kilo held out a hand.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Ned accepted the handshake. Pleasure's all mine, Miss Mondivic. He nodded curtly and looked at Leon. Who's that? Just some random kid who can shapeshift into a cat. Ignore him. Lucas huffed. Emil pouted and poked his brother's cheek.
Big brother, be nice to Leon, remember?
Lucas groaned. That is Leon Wang. He can shapeshift into a black panther. His family left him behind a few years ago and have yet to find him. So we have allowed him to live with us, he explained. A black panther, huh? That's a cool animal.
Leon scoffed. Yeah, it's cool. Can you shapeshift? I'm sure it's a lame animal.
Kid, I can shapeshift into a black wolf. Ned shrugged.
Leon gasped. Oh my gosh, that's totally a cool animal.
Yeah, a black wolf is just as cool as a black panther. Ned ruffled up the boy's hair.
So, Lucas, is your partner with you?
Kilo asked eagerly.
Emil gasped. Oh yeah, you wrote in your last letter that you were getting a new partner. I've been wanting to meet them so badly.
Lucas bit his lip. Yeah, they're here. I'm sure you two will like them.
Lucas, next time have my back. Don't just let people walk off with me.
Erica's voice sounded drenched in anger. Lucas rolled his eyes and turned to get a look at Erica. Both him and Ned were left speechless and red-faced. Erica wore a dress, the long-sleeved red top and a black skirt. A black matching corset was wrapped around her waist. Her cheeks were dusted a light pink with a bright red lipstick. The only things that didn't change were her boots and her hair. Oh my god, Rika, you actually look like a girl. Ned had to keep himself from laughing. Erica balled up her hands.
Ned, shut up before I knock you out, she hissed.
She is the most beautiful woman I've ever encountered. She is the body many girls would die to have, although I wish her hair was longer. Then I could have done something with it. Miss Applegate came out from behind Erica. Thank you, Miss Applegate. She looks wonderful. You may leave now. Lucas put on a small smile. Erica blushed at the compliment. Miss Applegate chuckled and walked off. Who's that? Kilo blinked. Lucas took a deep breath. All right, Mother. Don't freak out or panic. This is Erica Kohler. She is my partner. She's Dragon Shapeshifter. Kilo, Emil, and Leon were left speechless. At this point, Ned stepped in and explained Erica's situation to ease their minds. All the while, Lucas and Erica stood there awkwardly. Shockingly to Lucas, his mother and brother were okay with it.
I think she's beautiful. I love her wavy hair.
Kilo smiled and took Erica's hands. Ooh, and such strong hands. I guess it's to expect no less from an animal shapeshifter, especially a dragon. They're still so dainty, too.
This one truly has the beauty of a young lady with the strength of a full-grown man. I am very impressed. Erica laughed sheepishly. Oh, stop it. I'm not all that. She looked away with dark red cheeks. You're totally cool, though. Dragon shapeshifters are extremely rare. Like the rarest of the rare shapeshifters. Dragons and dragon shapeshifters are like legends. I find dragons so pretty and majestic, and to meet a person who can shapeshift into those amazing, beautiful creatures is truly an honor. Emil had wide eyes, sparkling with excitement. Erica's face had finally flushed red, and she hid behind Ned. Stop it! You're embarrassing me. Too many compliments. She whined. Aw, she's so adorable and modest. I like her. Kilo cooed. Lucas, you're home, and you brought friends. A tall man with blonde hair and dark blue eyes came walking up the trail to the home. Oh, Bowden, you're home. Perfect. Kilo smiled. Lucas held his brother close, causing Emil to squeak. Hello, Father. How have you been? I hope you're protecting Mother and Emil, he huffed. Bowden rolled his eyes. I've been better. Who are these two people with you? They are my colleagues, Nathaniel and Erica. Lucas gently placed Emil on the ground. The young boy went to cling to Leon. Charmed. Bowden scoffed. I assume Nathaniel is your partner. What animal is he? Lucas looked away from his father. Nathaniel's a wolf, but he's not my partner. Erica is. She's a dragon. He gulped. Bowden glared daggers at Erica, who gripped Ned's cloak out of fear for her life. And that's where we end it. I split it up into 2 videos because I didn't want it to be too long, and I'm so glad I did, because altogether it probably would have been a 40-something minute video, and that would have taken so long to upload. So yeah, that's chapters 1 through 4 done. I hope you guys like it, because I spent, excluding the year I dropped the story because of writer's block, it took me 2 years to finish, and a lot of thought and probably some love, blood, sweat, and tears went into this story. So I really hope you guys like it, and I hope you go and check out my other stories. I have written other stories. It's just that this one's my pride and joy. I will link my fanfiction.net account below, along with all my social media. But yeah, guys, look forward to tomorrow, where I'll be reading more fanfics. Woohoo! Also, look, I want you guys to see this. I have a special button for my tripod. I feel like a YouTuber. Anyway, if you guys want to check out more videos, I got some headcanon videos that are probably the heart of my channel. So if you guys want to check those out, you're welcome to. And I'll see you guys in the next video.